Hey everybody, just a quick vid showing how I make these cells. I bought some more copper bowls. I'll give the link to these in the description, but these are 100% copper. These are actually Tibetan Buddhist offering bowls. Those are 3 inches, 3 inches in diameter. Got my distilled water. Got some borax in here. It's my alum from My Spice Sage. Got good prices. My hot plate. This is the hot plate that I use. It was pretty cheap. Aroma hot plate. I think it was like 30 bucks or so. And I've got a piece of magnesium already cut. This is from an anode rod at 2.5. I think it's like 2.562 inches in diameter. And I had some holes drilled in this to increase surface area. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put one of these bowls on the hot plate, like so. I'll scoot it over a little bit. And get some more light over there. So I'm going to stop this video here and I'm going to come back when this bowl starts to change color. Okay, so you can see it starting to change there. Here's in comparison how it looked before. Pretty shiny. And I'll be back. It's really starting to get dark now. Here's another comparison here between these two. So I'm going to let this sit. I'm going to let this sit for maybe 3 or 4 more minutes here. I'll be back. Okay, so that's been sitting about, I don't know, 8 minutes or so. Here's the difference. So it's not it's not really black, it's more of a dark grayish color. So what I'm going to do is I just put some distilled water in here with the borax. I'm just going to dunk this. Normally I'd use needle nose pliers, but I left them in the house and this is all I could find, so this will work. Hopefully I don't drop it. I'm just going to dunk it. So you see there's all that flaky shit. That's what you want to see. You see that stuff come off, and you want to be careful because that stuff is poisonous. You don't want to get it all up in your fingers and then start putting it in your mouth and shit. Alright, so let's scoot it over here. I'm going to turn off the camera to get it out. So that's how it should look when it comes out. There's one that's not done. There's what I just did. Okay. So now I'm going to open up the alum, and I'll be right back and show you how I do that. So I've got my alum powder here, and I'm going to pour just a little bit in the base here. About that much. And I've already got a syringe filled with some distilled water. I'm going to get this wet down in here. Kind of make a base so this starts to grow at the bottom. I guess that was about 4 milliliters that I put in there. Now I'm going to fill it up the rest of the way. And I like to with these discs, you want to fill it up a little bit further than you normally would so that it doesn't short out the cell, because you don't want the disc to touch the copper, of course. So kind of spreading that out. Okay. Now here's my magnesium. I think I actually put a little too much alum in there. I'm going to stop the camera and take a little bit out. Okay, so there it is, all set up. You have to be careful not to, as you push alum into the edges here, to try to make it look neat. You want to make sure you don't get any alum in this screw hole, because then you'll have trouble getting the screw in. So just kind of watch that. If you drill holes like me, just kind of push it out instead of that way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up the meter, and I'm going to put some, you don't have to put very much, just drops. I'm going to put maybe 10 drops just around the edges here. I might put some in these holes in the center too. And I'm going to hook up the meter so you can see the voltage. Okay, so you can see got the leads hooked up here. It's putting it about 60 millivolts, and this is just going up because the cell's getting stronger. But I've got my syringe full of water here, and I'm going to try to hold my camera here so you can see. It should bump up to about 1.5 volts as 1 drop, 2 drops, 3 drops, 4 drops, 5 drops. There it is, volt 6. So I'm going to drop some more. 7 drops, 8 drops, 9 drops, 10 drops. Okay, now I'm going to drop some in these holes, kind of in the center. Carefully here. You don't want to oversaturate it. It really doesn't need a whole lot of water to run. I've had one running for 6 days now, and I only dropped like 8 drops of water in it. Alright. So 1.85 volts. 1.83. So let's see what the short circuit current is. So about 4 milliamps. So we should be seeing more, but this hasn't really formed yet. So I'm going to disconnect these leads and let it sit for a while and form, and then I'm going to try this test again. Okay, I'm back. Put a little more water on it, and got the negative hooked up. I'm going to hook up the positive here. Something else I did is I went ahead and used some sandpaper and sanded off a little area here to connect my lead to. That helps. So I'm going to connect the positive so you can see the current. Oops. So we're getting about almost 20. 21. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this, I'm actually going to short circuit this for a while by itself and let it sit, because I've read that makes them stronger. And I'll be back. Okay, so I just saturated this with about 5 more milliliters of water. That's what I'm showing short circuit wise. So I'm going to show you my other cell in comparison. I'll be right back.